Hey Capricorn, welcome to Glow in the Tarot. I'm going to be doing your reading for September 2019. Sorry it's so late. I originally recorded your video earlier, but for some reason my camera decided to record half of your reading and then to stop recording it. So your girl got a little bit upset and had to, need to take a break. Ever since yesterday with the full moon, I've been having all kinds of problems with like uploading onto YouTube or finishing like recordings, or like my camera keeps falling. And I was doing the Pisces reading yesterday, and it was just so like, it was just weird. It was just weird. I could only do half of their reading yesterday. And then I was trying to do the other half, and I was just running into all these problems. So I feel like there were just some residual stuff going on with the new moon, or with the full moon. Sorry, I don't know. But for some reason, it's just like problems that are beyond me kept happening. So this is my second attempt to do your reading for September 2019. All right. So Capricorn, one thing I talked about in your reading for August was this sense of you going against the grain. I think I mentioned that in your bonus, and then in your reading for August 2019. And so Capricorn, I do feel like you are kind of getting to a point where you are getting your footing a little bit. There are some things that are falling into place for you. There are some things that you are figuring out. Now, with that though, I do think that there is that aspect of inside and outside. I'm getting that a lot for a lot of the signs. So there's what's going on the outside, and then there's what you're actually feeling on the inside. And those kind of contradict with each other. There is some aspect of you that is moving forward and moving on from past situations, but somehow or another those past situations are kind of playing a role in the decisions that you are making now. So your first card here is the Ten of Cups next to the Sun card, next to the Justice card. So there's definitely this feeling of some type of fulfillment with you, Capricorn. There's this feeling of fulfillment. There's this feeling of the sun shining on you, of you being happy, of you, again, just getting your footing. That's what I feel like. You're kind of, you got your pace set, and I do think that there is this energy within you where you do think it's fair. I feel like there is this energy with you where you feel like finally maybe I'm getting some of the things that I deserve, or finally I'm kind of getting more settled and more stable into my life, or people are starting to see things my way, or maybe they don't see things my way, but the things that I'm doing my way are actually working. So Capricorn, this is very good energy for you. I see at the top of the spread that you have this sense of fulfillment, you have this sense of happiness, and you have this sense of happiness that is fair, that is yours. Now, you have the King of Cups, Two of Cups in the middle of your spread, next to the Queen of Swords. Now, if I were to add these up too, that would be three of cups, right? So I feel like there is this sense of community, there is this sense of balance, there is this sense of coming together, there is this sense of you being in control of yourself and of your emotions. There is a sense of you overlooking the things in your life that are working, especially when it comes to an emotional standpoint, when it comes to a more fluid standpoint. This could indicate some type of union. This could indicate maybe you've gotten married. This could indicate some type of balanced partnership. But I kind of feel like, Capricorn, you're the one that's like overlooking it. So I don't get this sense of control in a negative way, but I feel like you're the one that is just overlooking it, just making sure that it's what you want and that it's going great. Um, I get this very this energy of you kind of like being the boss, and maybe not being the boss in your relationship or whatever this indicates, but you being the boss in your decisions of who you decide to be with, or who you decide to hang out with, or what partnerships you decide to get involved in. You are making a very calculated decision to uh, as it relates to who and what you are getting involved in, whether or not that has to do with money, whether or not that has to do with love, or anything like that. You are kind of in this Queen of Swords energy, where you are thinking very logically, thinking very rationally. Um, you're very much considering what you want in your life and what you don't, what you need in your life and what you don't. Um, it's like that switch that happens, when you become like an adult, right? You just start making like very like adult like decisions, and it's like you don't like apologize for them, you don't explain them. It's not so much that you're uh unnecessarily cutthroat or anything like that. It's just, I think, Capricorn, you've gotten to a point where you know what works and what doesn't. You know what you want, and you know what you don't. You are just focused on your cups right now. Okay, and you're focused on your happiness, and you're focused on fairness, and anything that serves you, great, maybe you can stay. Anything that doesn't serve you, absolutely not. You can't. So I do think that you're becoming more pragmatic with how it relates to your life. Now you have the Temperance card here. Again, you are balanced. I think that you are working and focusing on balancing yourself and your emotions in your life. Anything that takes away from that balance, you're not even going to give it a second thought. You're not even going to tolerate it, okay? Now, I do think that there is some aggression here. In a positive way, though. I think that there is some aggression as far as you aggressively moving forward, you aggressively going after your life and living for your life, you aggressively protecting or fighting for your new sense of stability, your new life, your new idea of what it is that you want. This thing in the center of your reading, this union, this partnership, this equal give and take, this balance here, you are willing to protect it. I feel like this is so central, and it's such a yummy core that you have right now. You are aggressively maintaining that balance within yourself and in your environment outside of you, okay? Sorry, it's just getting something to drink. But you do have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse here. And next to that is the Five of Cups. Next to that is the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So again, this goes back to what I was saying, Capricorn, how I do feel like some things in your past are kind of influencing what you're doing now. I think that there are some things that you're thinking about what you don't want, or you're thinking about what you don't have, or you're thinking about, well, okay, that's where I went wrong with that. There is some part of you that is with those past things, or with those old things, or with that offer, or with that thing that's trying to come back, that you do feel a sense of loss with. You do feel a sense of loss with. And even though you have these three cups here, there's something that still makes you feel as though those three cups are still knocked down. I wonder if this situation is your way of compensating for this Three of Cups? Or is this situation, or I'm sorry, this Five of Cups with these Three Cups knocked down, but also is this situation something that is going to lead to this, where those Three Cups do get knocked down? You know? So, if this has to do with a relationship, I would say not to let the past dictate too much of what's going on now. If this is a relationship or something of that sort, I would say make sure that you don't get too carried away in this Queen of Swords energy and then this King of Cups energy to the point where it does lead to this Five of Cups here. This could be you turning down an offer. This could be someone turning down an offer that you make. I'm getting like the sense of like an ultimate offer. You know, maybe, you know, this could be like a marriage proposal and someone turns it down. That's something I'm hearing. And it might not put it into the relationship because you still have Two Cups standing, but it might knock over Three Cups. It might kind of tip you over a little bit. So whether or not this aggression that is going to be here in the presence of you maintaining a sense of control and maintaining a sense of balance, whether or not that's something that's going to come up, whether or not this is just something, you know, your aggressive attack towards, you know, your sense of your own personal sense of happiness. Whatever the case, don't let it distract you. I think that this refusal, I'm getting a refusal energy with this Ace of Pentacles followed by this Five of Cups, that is going to affect your willingness to be so generous. That is going to affect your nature of giving to whatever the situation is. That either won't take away your sense of community and teamwork and cooperation, or it will put you in a situation where you are looking for that. That either will not take away your sense of groupings and friendships and wanting to have fun and wanting to be around those close to you. But I think that it might lead you there. Possibly in order to compensate for the situation here, whether or not it has to do with the past situation that's bubbling up now in the present, or if this is a present situation with this. Be careful about the bullshit that is around you that will follow. Be careful about not seeing everything for what it is. Be careful about the people who want you to be blindfolded. I feel like Capricorn, that even if things are going well, you are being led to a death that needs to happen. You are being led to an energy of change, of things coming to an end. And this doesn't have to do with love or relationships, but certain things, certain changes needing to happen. That energy of things being taken from you, or you taking from yourself, or there just not being enough clarity, that will come to an end, and you will hit this wheel of fortune energy. Things will be working for you and working out in your favor. And you will be presented with options. But like I told you in your last reading, be careful who you surround yourself with. Be cognizant of the energies around you. Be careful that you aren't taken away from yourself. Don't get so turned upside down by things changing. I have this sense, Capricorn, that things are going very well for you, but things are just changing. I feel like, Capricorn, you are going through some growing pains. And I think that's what I'm going to name this video. It's just growing pains. And that is how I want you to see it. Just growing pains. Growing pains. Now, I'm going to use, I have a new deck of Rider-Waite cards. They look a little bit different, but I have a new deck of Rider-Waite cards I'm going to use for your clarification cards. I also have some animal spirit cards that I'm going to be using for your advice and takeaways. That's something new that I've started doing, because I want you guys to have more of a takeaway from your readings, okay? So you have the Three of Swords in the reverse, clarifying the Ten of Cups. King of Pentacles clarifying the Sun. And the Knight of Pentacles clarifying the Justice. So yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like you have moved on from something into your happiness. I think that you have moved on to this position, or this status, or this internal feeling or placement of feeling as though you have your shit together again, like you got your stride, right? What's that quote from Drake where it's like, I got my stride, I got my shit going, or something like that. I got my stride, got my shit going. Like, I feel like that's you right now. Certainly in the beginning of September. And I do, like, again, I think that you do feel like it's fair. Like, you do feel like, there are some things that you have deserved for quite some time, and that you are getting what you deserve. But with that, I do feel like you're taking your time and your decisions. You're not taking for granted or taking advantage of anything that you have. I definitely feel like this Three of Swords in the reverse at some point in the past was upright. But I think that now that it's in the reverse, there is a sense of happiness. There is a sense of fulfillment. There is this sense of you feeling as though, you have your shit together. You have your energy together. You are a King of Pentacles, right? And that things are fair. That is the way that it should be. That's the way that things should be for a while now. So you have the Justice card in the reverse, clarifying the King of Cups. You have the Six of Wands, clarifying the Two of Cups. And the Five of Swords in the reverse, clarifying the Queen of Swords. So, whatever the situation is, it's definitely something that you want to put on display. It's definitely something that you feel victorious about. Is definitely something that you are proud of. I feel like it's something that you feel like is adding to you, or it's adding to your status in some type of way. So, you know, that being said, be careful of how you look at your relationships, and romantic or otherwise, and how that deals with um, your status. Don't ever really do things for status too much, but whatever the case is, I think that you are feeling quite happy and victorious about it. Make sure that you aren't trying to control things too much, because that will come back to bite you in the ass. Okay? Even though you were in this Queen of Swords type of energy, I don't think that you're being overly combative. I think that's more of a thing of necessity. You have these Six of Pentacles clarifying the Temperance, Six of Pentacles in the reverse clarifying the Temperance. Eight of Swords in the reverse clarifying the Five of Swords. The Hangman clarifying the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, like I said, you're definitely trying to maintain your balance within yourself and outside of yourself. I think that is making you a little, I don't want to say hesitant, but it's making you a little bit more aware of your moves and your next moves. Maybe it's kind of making you a little hesitant to be as generous or as easily open to sharing things, especially if it has to do with your emotions. I don't think you're being too generous with that. I do see that there is no confusion as far as what you want, or what you are kind of aggressive towards, or combative towards. Yeah, and with this Hangman energy over the Ace of Pentacles, I definitely feel like I keep hearing that this is some type of refusal. But it's not like a refusal to the point where it's like the end of the world. I think it does give you like a little bit of a loss, but not all is lost, if that makes sense. Like, maybe you're about to go on a break from someone, or maybe, there's a job or a promotion, or a job opportunity, but instead of the answer being yes, it's like not yet, and it's like like, that's what I'm getting. So with that Hangman energy clarifying this Ace of Pentacles, that's more of what I'm getting for you, Capricorn. I think that there is going to be some disappointments within this month, but I don't think they're going to be horrible. I think they're just going to be like frustrating. Yeah, I mean, you have the Eight of Wands clarifying the Five of Cups. Like, it's something that is going to help you to move forward. Whether, that be moving forward in a good mood or moving forward in a bad mood. But it's not something that's going to be the end of the show. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the end of the day, end of the world. You have the Lover's card clarifying the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. It's the second time that you have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So yeah, there is something, and I think it might have to do with love, where you're not being so overly generous. I think that in the past, probably you have been overly generous, especially if this has to do with love, and that bit you in the ass a little bit, Capricorn. So I think that, there are some things that you are being hesitant with. There are some things that you are allowing yourself to show off or to feel victorious about, but you're still kind of controlling it a little bit. You're still trying to keep in like I don't want to say like a tight grip, but just a sense of control over it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, but you're moving towards it though. You're moving towards it. You have it here. And this, even though this is a lover's card, it might not be specifically or particularly love, but that is the energy. There is some energy of balance and equal give and take and love. But either way, I don't think that you are in a headspace to where you're going to just give your everything automatically to who or whatever. You have the moon card in the reverse clarifying the Three of Pentacles. So I feel like part of your decisions this month, Capricorn, you're still kind of finding your way. There still is some confusion. There still is some lack of intuition that you're maybe not tapping into all the way. I think that you probably aren't tapping into your intuition all the way as far as who you are hanging out with, who you're collaborating with, who you're working with. I do see that you have this sense of community. I do see that you want this sense of community, but I don't know if you're really trying to, dive deep into like who you're really kicking it with. Yeah, I mean, and I feel like, again, this goes back to what I said with the inside and the outside. Like, I feel like there is this outside, part of you and notion of you, but there's this inside part of you. I don't know if you really feel as fulfilled with your outside and with your sense of community as I don't really know if you feel as happy with that as you want to. There's this part of you that feels like you can't really give everything that you want to the full measure or to the full extent. Whatever disappointment though, whatever possible heartbreak, whatever thing from the past that might bubble up, whatever possible situation that might come up towards the end of this month, again, with that outside and inside, there's going to be that outside reaction from you, but then there's going to be that inside reaction from you. There's going to be that outside reaction of you using the things within this month as a stepping stone to look up, towards your next venture, towards your next opportunity. But then also there's going to be that internal aspect of you. So make sure that whatever energies, in some ways, Capricorn, that's not a bad thing. Just make sure that you will know how to do that properly. Don't set a trap for yourself, and don't pay attention too much to the trap that other other persons are trying to set for you. Oops, sorry. Be very cognizant of the energy that you're around. Don't fight situations that want to end, that want to die. Let the things that are over be over. I hope that makes sense, Capricorn. You know, we aren't too far from your season. I think that you should really allow the things that don't need to be with you to wash away, and allow the things that need to be with you to flourish and you know, and grow. But just don't buck the process, because I feel like, you know, the universe